Atmosphere is a vague yet undeniable determining factor in the lasting impressions emitted by any piece of media, and video games are no different. Whether it be somber and morose or jovial and inviting, the tone is the crux of the atmosphere, and the Devolver Digital published Death's Door exemplifies this vein of gaming impact all too prominently. While Death's Door combative design decisions are uninspired and rudimentary, its area layouts, soundtrack, and mood are what truly define this adventure and make it a worthwhile investment. Death's Door has players take control of a nameless crow who has the arduous job of reaping souls. However, one of its assigned souls just got stolen, initiating a course of events leading to a reluctant adventure. The crow is one of many in an organization of other crows who also reap and perform other tasks such as tracking down the locations of requisite souls and alchemizing souls into stat increases. Truthfully, the organization existence is a minor, mostly non-intrusive factor of the job, as it acts as a convenient hub more than anything else. Whenever exploring the various lands, there are doors players can come across. Once activated, act as a fast travel point leading back to headquarters. The fast travel doors continually and gradually being added to the hub area throughout the course of the game grants a genuine sense of satisfying progression other than simply growing stronger. They also provide substantial conveniences since unlocking abilities open paths to priorly passed areas akin to a Metroidvania. As far as the areas themselves, they tend to be both aesthetically and mechanically unique. One of the areas, for instance, requires the destruction of a specific number of pots to unlock doors, and reaching said pots require light puzzles and region comprehension. Understanding the layout of the map is certainly where I derive the most thrill and fulfillment, but that's not to say that the combat is uninteresting. Enemies all have transparent telegraphs, which is a fundamental hooking point for continuous fighting. Additionally, there tend to be groups of varying enemies placed together in encounters to prevent the possibility of combat potentially growing dull. This serves to make the movement as vital as identifying when to strike particular foes is paramount to success. Projectiles also play an intriguing role since they can usually be deflected with a swing of the equipped weapon. I appreciated this functionality as it encourages a more aggressive and hands-on approach to defeating foes rather than making it a constant cat and mouse game of endless dodging. The crow initially wields a sword. The act of combat is identical regardless of the tool. In addition to the standard combo, there is a charge attack with a decent range and power. It is also immediately performed following a dodge roll, prioritizing proper positioning and enemy reading. The final notable mechanic is range tools that come in the form of arrows and magic like fire. Using range techniques require a brief charge time and a bar located right under the crow's health. Bars are recovered each time a physical hit is landed, but this doesn't only work on enemies. You can also hit crates or mushrooms to refill them. This is a perplexing design choice since it necessitates the question of why even bother to include these skill bars in the first place. I feel like this idea could have used more fine-tuning to make it more of a constant mental process of executing rather than a spam fest of easily obtainable ammunition. The narrative and dialogue are some of the experience's high points, with charm and wit being exuded by several characters, as well as the gloomy sense of humor that rightfully accompanies the dreary landscapes. Furthermore, the backstory behind the characters can be genuinely moving. The contrast of hilarity and graveness is balanced unquestionably well. By far, the most impressive feat of Death's Door has to be the absolute Wondrous soundtrack. As noted prior, this title expertly creates its atmosphere and tone, and the music is the primary tool for making that happen. Death's Door is polished incredibly well and performs smoothly, though I occasionally faced one head-scratching dilemma. There are instances where progression is locked behind forced enemy encounters, and there are a few instances where I would get hit during a brief scene concluding the fight due to a projectile hitting me while the scene occurred. Hopefully this issue is addressed because while rare, it does cause needless frustration and worry, especially if one is not particularly close to a fast travel point. Death's Door breathes some life into the generalization umbrella of action-adventure titles thanks to its effective level design coupled with simple-to-grasp yet enjoyable mechanics. While a few factors such as the range skill usage bar are questionable in execution, the game's flow and pace are never significantly hindered from ruining the experience as a whole. Furthermore, the dreary thematic tones exuded by the loneliness of the varied explorable sections alongside the appealing characterizations and dialogue also serve to make Death's Door an assuredly exceptional time for those feeling even remotely curious. Noisy Pixel is giving Death's Door an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our feature content.
Noisy Pixel.